Hi, Miles here. Welcome to another one of my videos. Today's subject, chainsaws, or more specifically, battery electric chainsaws versus petrol gasoline two-stroke chainsaws. The reason why I want to do the video is because in the past when I've been using my electric chainsaw, cutting up logs, I've had people coming up to me, usually insecure, aging alpha male types with something to prove to themselves. They'll come and say, why are you using that electric chainsaw? It's a Happy Meal toy, it's not a proper chainsaw, why don't you go and get a real machine and then you'll be able to work much better. And I've tried to defend the electric chainsaw, but they don't want to listen. And on other occasions I'm using my petrol gasoline chainsaw and people come up to me and say, why are you using that? Have you tried an electric chainsaw, ones with batteries? They're quieter, they don't shake as much, they last longer, etc, etc, etc. And I thought really I could solve the problem by doing a direct comparison on video and show their various strengths and weaknesses for the two types. And then if you're in the market for buying a chainsaw, you can see what I think of these two and go from there. Now, in order for it to be a fair comparison, I've had to get two new chains, okay? So both machines have a brand new chain, never used. They're both the same Oregon chain, the same type, so there'll be no difference there. They're both full now of chain oil. It's the same lubricant on both, there's no difference there. They're both 16-inch bars. They're both tensioned to more or less the same, as close as I can get it. So it should be a fair test. Well, before we get on and actually cut any wood, let's have a quick look at the two machines in question. Here's the DeWalt Chainsaw. It's got a 54-volt battery system, the same batteries that they use with their big drills and other appliances. And it's got a 16-inch bar and a brushless motor, which allegedly can deliver about 2,000 watts of power to the chain. Feels pretty sturdy in the hand, it feels well made. You can tell this company produces an awful lot of power tools. And weight-wise, it's pretty reasonable. I'm going to say about 10 kilograms. This machine will run for about an hour's heavy use between batteries. This is the Husqvarna 236, two-stroke petrol gasoline chainsaw. It also has a 16-inch bar, a small premix fuel tank, a primer bubble and a pull start. It also weighs about 10 kilograms. First bit of timber we're going to try, nice and simple, it's this piece of silver birch. It's been down from some storm damage and lying around in the wood store for about a year. So I'll start with the petrol, and what I'm going to do is just cut a few short logs off, and then I'm going to do the same with the electric. I'm going to try and apply the same sort of force on each and just see which one feels better. Okay, as you'd expect, especially for silver birch, that's pretty effortless. Let's try it with the electric. Yeah, pretty similar actually. Got this lovely piece of ash now, my favourite firewood, and so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with the petrol, just cut a few lengths off, and then we're going to switch to the electric and see how it compares. This should run. did alright. It struggled a bit more than with the silver birch. Still had no problem with it. Covered it in wood chippings. Getting a bit short to work with now. Okay, that also was no problem. If anything, I think the electric had the edge on that one. Got a nice piece of oak here. Like the ash, this has come down the last storm about 6 months ago. It's still pretty heavy, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for both chainsaws, but it's not a big piece, so it should be fine. Again, we'll start with the petrol gasoline one. We take maybe 2 off. Actually, maybe just 1 on this, and then 1 there on the electric. Did pretty good. Yeah, still quite damp in there. Let's give the electric one a go. Yeah, no problem. Well, that's the first time I've ever compared these two chainsaws directly. And what have I found out? Well, I wouldn't necessarily rate either one as better than the other. I suppose it depends what you want. In terms of absolute raw cutting power, I'd say the electric is more powerful. And it's got a very fresh battery. Maybe towards the end of the battery it would fall maybe the other way a little bit. The electric's nicer to use. It's certainly quieter, and it's easy just to pick up and turn on and off like electric devices are. With the two-stroke, obviously you've got to pull start it each time, which if you're picking it up and putting it down a lot, then it is a bit annoying unless you just leave it running. Then you've got to listen to it all day. Two-stroke Husqvarna is more convenient if you are using it all day, simply because a small bottle of petrol will last you all day, whereas with a battery chainsaw, obviously you're going to have to bring along 3 or 4 batteries, or maybe more. In terms of cost, the Husqvarna represents better value for money. I don't want to say specific prices because I know they change over time, but the Husqvarna is about half the price of the DeWalt. Well, the bare machines are about the same price, but you see with the DeWalt, of course, you've got to buy some batteries and you've got to buy a charger, which isn't cheap either. So by the time you bought all that to go with it, the Husqvarna really is about half the price. In build quality, I'd say they're about the same. You know, Husqvarna's got a long legacy of building chainsaws, but then DeWalt's no stranger to building tough power tools either. Another advantage of electric chainsaws is there's no fumes. And when you're outside like I am now, it doesn't really make a lot of difference, but sometimes people like to cut up logs in a workshop or a shed, and quite often with a two-stroke engine the smoke can be quite oppressive. My conclusion is there's not an awful lot in it. If you're trying to save money, you just want something cheap, the two-stroke Husqvarna's fine. It's capable of cutting more or less anything that I would ever need to cut, and it's half the price of the DeWalt system. But the DeWalt is very nice to use. It's quieter, it doesn't shake as much, and of course you can just pick it up and put it down and just squeeze the trigger, and you know, it's really easy, it's very pleasant to use. So, you know, horses for courses. So I'll leave it there and let you draw your own conclusions, and I will see you again in another video. Okay, take care, bye bye.